We are now live, so let me click over to my script here. Thank you very much for tuning in. You are currently watching, actually, the TattooNOW show with Jeff Johnson and actually the whole Dire Wolf Tattoo crew. Pretty excited. They're out in California, and I'm always excited to talk to our guests, but Jeff, this one's exceptionally exciting because he is alive, and we'll talk about how exciting that is for everybody normally, but really exciting for him right now. Anyways, this is April 26th and 2022. And if this is working for you, please let us know in the comments or in the chat room. And I'm actually running tech at the same time, but it seems like it's actually working. Yeah, okay. Feel free to tag a friend or a tattooer who likes tattoos, and or do the your phone story, social media share out. Anyways. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Reinventing the Tattoo network, and bear with me a little bit. It'll be, I know, 7 to 8 minutes, but we won't run any ads in the middle of this, so we're just going to get it away with right in a minute. Anyways, okay. Welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo community, where tattoo artists, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are all encouraged to join in these live streams, to watch the replays, ultimately to inspire each other and to create better art and tattoos together. With your help, we've been beaming out pretty much every day, 5 days a week, and have become a pretty awesome network of tattoo shows, if I don't say so myself, but it's everyone else contributing that makes it so. In any event, you could find Reinventing the Tattoo in either of the app stores, the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. You can do a search for Reinventing the Tattoo on the YouTube channel. The Roku, if you have Roku, one of the smart TVs, like I know that 2/3 of you are like, what the fuck is Roku? But there's still like 20 to 30% of people that have smart TVs that are like, I have a Roku. Anyways, do a search for Reinventing the Tattoo or go to reinventingthetattoo.com/Roku, and you could download the whole Reinventing channel there. It's I can show you what it looks like a little bit later, but it's basically got 15 channels of all of the shows replaying 24/7, including the Drunk Critique channel against my better judgment. But there's a tattoo convention channel. There is a there's all sorts of all the shows have channels. Okay, I'm going to screen share the Reinventing homepage because I know I've been telling you about all these other places that we can go, but oh, I think it's this one. Yeah, sorry. Okay. You could always find the latest information right here on reinventingthetattoo.com. If you scroll down here, you can see, oh, this is tonight's show. We've got another Spanish art jam going on, or Spanish interview going on. The previous shows are here. Keep scrolling down. We've got our Reinventing 24/7 going here. This is what I was talking about earlier. So if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're all sick of Netflix, you could tune in, and there is all these channels. Right now we've got, let's see, this is the RIT podcast going. So this is Art History with Guy and oh, Brandon Bean. Okay, so they're talking about all of Brandon Bean from Dark Skin Body Art. They're talking about all of his art influences. We have these Reinventing drawing groups where artists are encouraged to join in and do your tattoo homework or apprentice homework or any drawing really. And people beam in from all over the place. We've got art jams, tattoo collecting podcasts where tattoo collectors teach everybody how not to make the mistakes that they made. We've got the Spanish channel, Tattoo Weekly, live in the Castro, straight from Castro in San Francisco. These are all LGBTQ people of color, all sorts of awesome stories and interviews. Tattoo Machine channel. Anyways, it's pretty sick. All the different replays. The upcoming events are found here right below on our event schedule. And you can see we have, let's see, 1 o'clock. These are all Eastern time, but if you're on Google Calendar, then I think the times will show up on your times. Anyways, we've got Reinventing drawing groups every Sunday from 1 to 2 Eastern with Jason Leeser. The Tattoo Weeklies every Monday from 11 to 12. This is with Jake Meeks, Lauren Gregory, and I. We cover different highlights from the past week and the upcoming week. Guy Aitchison does his exclusive exercises and critiques for Canon members and the Evolve crew every Monday at 9 p.m. Oh, come on now, be nice to me. The Tuesday at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. is another Reinventing drawing group with Ricardo. 1 o'clock on Wednesdays. Hey, that's actually right now is the TattooNOW show. Then oh, I have to change the time on this. The Tattoo Collecting Podcast is actually at 6 p.m. every Thursday. We just changed the time. So that is the Reinventing Network in a nutshell. And let me get back to the script real quick. I think I just need to thank our sponsors. Let's see, coming up live, you can find us at Hell City, May 20th to the 22nd, hellcity.com. June 10th to the 12th is Ink Mania Expo. And St. Pete, Florida, we're just talking about going to the Dolly Museum for the field trip after that. July 29th to the 31st is the Rubber City Tattoo Invitational in Akron, Ohio, hosted by Tony Urbanek, and I believe the site of the first official Tattoo Machine Olympics. It's pretty fun. Let's see, then there's Hell City in August, Richmond in October, a whole mess of shows. Okay, these network shows are free because of raw pigments, rawpigments.co, acrylic free, and they don't dry out in the cup. The inks don't dry out in the cup. You can check them out, rawpigments.co. There's lots of videos there. WorldTattooEvents.com is the largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. TattooNOW, I do computer stuff for tattooers. And actually, I'm launching a couple of new sites I'm very excited for. Also work with as a CTO, so I do all sorts of CRM work and for both artists and for supply companies, anybody really. And then let's see, last but in this case, first really is Guy Aitchison. GuyAitchison.com is the founder of the Reinventing the Tattoo universe, right? It started off as a 3-ring binder, turned into some books and DVDs 10 years ago into like an online course that he could update at will. Now it's a very comprehensive online learning platform where I actually have another 20 some odd courses that are involved. And he has, well, you could check it out if you go to Reinventing the Tattoo and then click on the free resources, has all the free resources, and then the courses has all the courses. It's pretty crazy. And yeah, okay. So I am normally talking about leaving positive reviews out in the public. Thank you very much. It helps us go up in the channels. Constructive criticism comes to management at reinventingthetattoo.com, or if you're interested in sponsoring or hosting a real world event. Instead of hopping into the background like normal, I'm going to bring everybody else in here, including Jeff Johnson. Okay, remove the spotlight. Remove spotlight. Okay. Jeff and crew, thank you very much for beaming in. It's unfortunate the series of events that set off me reaching out for the interview, but on the other hand, it's going to be great to catch up with everybody. So what I'm referring to is Jeff was in a car accident not too long ago that it was very fortunate that everyone survived, although he got pretty fucking banged up, and that was not it didn't seem like that was a sure thing. So it'll be pretty intense to catch up with him. Thanks for being alive, Jeff. Holy shit.
Good to be alive.
One of the things that was just amazing for me to watch is the outpouring of support from the community. And, I know that, when I'm ready to go where I go, there'll be as many people saying bad things as good things. Everybody said awesome things about Jeff, or at least everything that I saw. And the amount of support was awesome, both online and in the newspapers and whatnot. In any event, like I said, I'm excited to catch up. So we'll do a quick little interview and tour with Jeff, but then, of course, the rest of the studio is here. So we want to talk about them and their work because, I imagine that even if you are back to work or when you get back to work, Jeff, having a busy shop is probably going to be the best way to help, you have the space and time to heal. Anyways, welcome, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Whew, I'm going to take a breath.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's start by going around real quick and doing the what they call a roll call, or on real TV. So you're out in LA, so you might even know the real words for it. But look straight into the camera, into the eyes of the viewer. Let us know who you are, what your Instagram is, and how to find you. Yeah, and then maybe a sentence or two about what you like to tattoo, and then we'll get into the questionings. Start with you, Jeff.
Okay. My name is Jeff Johnson. My Instagram is Jeff_Johnson_tattoo. I've been tattooing around 20 years. Did a lot of color work, color bioorganic stuff in the beginning of my career. Nowadays, it's more like illustrative black and gray stuff. I still do some color stuff. And I still enjoy doing it. It just seems that people come to me more for like more black and gray illustrative stuff. Opened Direwolf Tattoo about 6 years ago, and it's been good. Once I kind of calmed down from all the traveling and living that convention life for 15 years or so, I decided to move back to where I grew up. We still had a bunch of family here and stuff, and open the shop, and these guys have been with me, most of the time. That's
awesome
for me.
Sweet. And then, we met each other. It was, I don't know, what might not have been 20 years ago, but it was over 15.
It was, I would say probably around, I started tattooing in 2002, but I was around, conventions and cruising around with Carson, 2000 to 2001.
Oh, so it was right then and there. Whew, fun. It's crazy how time flies.
It really is. It really is,
Well, again, it's great to catch up. Let's, Tyler, we've got you up here next. Let's hear about you just a tad here for everybody.
Yeah, my name is Tyler Shear. My Instagram's at Tyler Shear. I've been tattooing since 2013. And I like to do like black and gray, like single needle type work. Yeah.
Awesome. And we'll have an opportunity to showcase everybody's work in a bit here. Okay, so Spencer, spelling for everybody. Spencer and Caitlin, how are you?
Hi. Great. Thanks for having us. So my name is Spence Caligiuri. You can find me on Instagram at Art of Spencer. Also artofspencer.com is my new website. I tattoo at Direwolf here in Thousand Oaks. I also oil paint, kind of bioorganic, psychedelic type stuff, which is super different than my tattooing, which has become more split between black and gray realism and more Japanese type stuff and illustrative stuff. So
awesome.
Yeah.
My name is Caitlin Crane, and my Instagram is at Kate Crane, and I've been tattooing since 2007. And then I used to work with Jeff at another shop from 2008 for a few years, and then I came and followed him to this new shop about 5 years ago and have been there ever since. I like to tattoo like illustrative animals and nature stuff, basically.
Awesome. And it's fun to, just being into this, again, staying alive for long enough, it's fun to see everybody kind of progress and change and whatnot. Jeff, you were talking about, Carson in the Numa days. It's clearly a lot has changed. Do you want to talk a little bit about maybe some of the more striking things that you've noticed change in the industry or your corner? And then I'm going to start showing off some of your work here while we're talking.
Yeah, it's kind of strange just to see how much it's grown and see how much more. It's just a lot bigger. It seemed like back in the early 2000s, everybody knew everybody, and it just seemed like such a smaller world. Nowadays, it's just there's new artists popping up left and right, and people doing amazing work in their second, third year of tattooing. Whereas before, it's like you knew all these names as you were learning to tattoo. You knew all these people, and you knew of all these people who were doing it for 20 years, and their work was all absolutely amazing. Now you have these kids that are just they're coming out of nowhere and just doing amazing work in their first few years of tattooing. It seems like it's just gotten so much bigger. I, in the last few years, have kind of, I don't want to say sequestered myself, but I've just been so buried in trying to keep my business running, having a full schedule of tattooing, keeping the shop running. I also have a 4-year-old child now. So being a father, being a husband, running the shop, that I kind of, I stopped traveling a bunch, and, I just kind of have been like paying attention to what's around me. It's also just like kind of crazy to see just how many like different styles there are now. Whereas before, there was always a bunch, but there's just so much variety of stuff out there now.
Sorry, I'm flipping around here like I completely lost control of the. Okay, I'm back. It is pretty amazing like you said, the growth, and it definitely it's it's part. I suppose it's part of many artist journeys, right? The getting into the scene, getting out of the scene, or not the scene, because there's at this point there's so many scenes. It's like getting into the culture, into the mix of the tattoo conventions and whatnot.
Right.
But there's it's really simple, right? Like take care of your clients. They come back, with their friends for more.
100%. And even on, and especially like on the local level, like you take care of the people who are in your town and they take care of your shop. It's really amazing. That goes even with the accident thing, tying in with all that.
Well, let's do you want to tell us a little bit about that from your perspective? I mean, not that we need to dwell upon it, but certainly to make sure everyone buckles their seatbelt and puts their kids in car seats. It's
absolutely. Basically we were it was a Saturday I'd been canceled on. So I just decided I was going to go. A buddy of mine was doing a barbecue pop up in like the next town over. So I went over there to buy some barbecue from him, then, went to like Costco, and then we were coming home. And a 26-foot box truck just kind of drifted into us on the freeway, which knocked my truck sideways, which is like, full size GMC 2500. Started flipping the truck, like tumbling it. Shot us over from the fast lane to the slow lane off an embankment about 25 foot down. I was ejected out of the truck into an irrigation ditch, and the truck landed on me. Basically like 2 steps away from death's door. Luckily there happened to be an ICU nurse that was driving by and saw the accident happen. She stopped and got out of her car and kept me alive underneath my truck until an ambulance showed up. Then getting us to the hospital. My wife had some fractures in her spine, so she was also in the hospital for a couple days. My son was untouched, thank God, because of his car seat. My wife was wearing a seatbelt. I am not too sure if I was wearing my seatbelt or not. The police report says I wasn't, but my seatbelt was clicked shut. So I'm assuming that I didn't have it on. I couldn't tell you, I don't remember anything. I was in a coma for about 3 weeks, woke up and had this whole situation explained to me. And when I woke up, not only, once I got my bearings, and, it took almost a week to even like come to reality when you're in a coma for that long. And, there's certain like after effects that happen that you're kind of insane for about a week afterwards. To see how everybody came together, especially the guys from my shop, to take care of me and my family, it's pretty fucking amazing. Like they set up a GoFundMe that, it's taken immense amounts of stress off me. There was a silent auction art show at a local brewery that brought in a bunch of money as well. And there were so many local artists, tattooers, graffiti artists, that donated art for it. And just like the community, the way everybody came together, people from the tattoo world, people from just the local stuff, people that I had grown up with. I'm in a town where I'm 45 and I pretty much have lived here off and on my whole life. It was just like the outpouring of support for myself and my family, and people taking care of my wife and kid while I was in the hospital for about a month. It was just absolutely amazing. I've never like witnessed anything like it whatsoever. It's crazy. I don't even know. I don't know how to. It's hard to say, like, how do you say thank you for stuff like that? There's so many people to say thank you to, and I don't. And thank you is such a small word. Like I learned that when I had dinner with the woman that kept me alive. It's just really hard to, you like, how are you gonna say that? How are you gonna say thank you for something like that? But you try to keep it positive. And sorry, I'm getting a little busted up. It's hard.
Oh man.
It's still very recent. This accident happened February 19th, and I got out of the hospital, I think the end of March. So I'm still not back to work. I won't be back to work probably till midsummer. With all the surgeries and stuff going on, or that have went on. I'm on the healing part of it now. There's no more surgeries. It's all just kind of power through physical therapy and healing. But yeah,
that's the way you say thank you, right? Like taking care of yourself, making sure that.
Yeah, and to anybody that did help, that's watching or sees this, my family thanks you from the bottom of our hearts. I mean, that's really all I can say. But yeah, thanks.
And it was evident from this side of the country too. Like I was saying, it was very clear that people are down with making sure that you guys get the best support possible.
Yeah, I really was blown. Me and my whole family were just absolutely blown away once I could like kind of grasp the amount of support that was coming from just every direction. And I just had told my wife, I was like, I know a lot of people and I've met a lot of people throughout my life and throughout my career and whatnot, but like, I didn't really realize how many still liked me. It's nice to be liked. Still there, Gabe? It looked like you got stuck.
Oh, am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Computers, well, I'm sure that very inopportune time to freeze out there. But the point is, man, yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of it is, people are saying thank you to you for the support that you've given to the whole community for the previous time. So just stay alive, just take your time, be healthy, get it together. Hey, let's what was it like being at the shop? So I imagine that all the artists, you want to talk a little bit about what it was like to all of a sudden not have Jeff there, or maybe start off with first like how you landed there, why you landed there with Jeff a little bit, and then but yeah, I mean, I guess it's not particularly normal for a crew of tattooers to get through that kind of trauma or even to have it. So anyways, we want to talk about that a little bit, and I could fire up the studio website here to give a little tour of what we're doing. So but we have a panel, so someone has to just start chiming right in. Sorry.
Jeff and I have been friends for a really long time. I was super young when I started out at the last shop that we were at, and he has been there for me ever since. So as soon as this happened, it kind of just turned reactionary. We're all a family here and we treat each other like a family. So it's way beyond just like working together. So I've never had to figure out the logistics of running the shop before. So I think that was the hardest part. Luckily, we're really good friends with the shop accountant. So he stepped up and was like, kind of like, all right, this is what has to get done. Let's figure this out. But the emotional side of it, it was really scary. It was really traumatic. It was, we kind of just like laid awake most nights, like wondering what we might have to do if he didn't wake up. And that was probably one of the worst things that I've ever had to go through as a human, like as not even just a worker of his, but a friend of his, someone who like truly loves him and his family. So the rest of it was kind of, it kind of all fell into place. When I came to work at the shop, like he really just was there to support me as a person and as an artist, and I was going through a hard time at the time, and so I feel like I not just owed him but like wanted to give him the best that I could because he's given me so much. The art show really came together fast, and I think everybody just needed to do something to help. Like they really wanted to feel like they were helpless. Yeah, everyone felt really helpless, and I feel like that art show helped us just as much as it helped him in the fact that we could feel the support of the community and feel like we were supporting him in a time where we weren't sure how. So it was,
as opposed to just sitting there and just freaking out, it was like, what can we do? And it was just like that thing just kind of took off. And like how many people reached out that wanted to be part of it was crazy. I think almost every local tattooer within the area offered to be part of it. And it was so cool to get everybody together. And so many of them showed up. I mean, you know how hard it is to get when you're doing putting an art show together that's 6 months away, trying to collect the art for it and actually having it get there and
in a week
people show up to it, like having it done so quickly was crazy.
So it was to have that community and that family there. So
thank you guys.
Jeff's just not a boss. He's our family. So I guess it just seems automatic.
Yeah, Jeff's been, before I started working at Dire Wolf, I also worked at the shop that they were at. I stayed behind after she left for a while. But I started hanging out there and getting to know Jeff a lot better before I was working there, painting with him and Tyler, oil painting at night. And then finally, when I came over there, like just he's always there, and he's just like the coolest dude, you know, like a good boss, but such a good friend and super inspiring, incredibly. He's been around for a long time. I've learned so much from him in regards to tattooing and just being a member of the community. I could go on and on about how impactful Jeff's been in my life, but that was cool to try to show him that by this horrible event, but to at least, like, you know, show him how much people care. It was pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, agreed. Like I said, it's, I mean, I hate to keep repeating myself. I'm going to stop repeating myself, but yeah, it was very clear how much support, you know, everyone was down with, and getting live reports was people texting me during that art show. And yeah, Tyler, what was your experience through this? How did you feel?
I mean, obviously there was a huge void, you know, at the shop. It was hard. I personally haven't lost many people in my life before, and thinking of the thought of possibly losing, you know, one of my biggest role models in my life was really hard. Yeah, I mean, it was tough, and we just kind of tried to run the shop as usual, you know. But I'm just really glad he's here now.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I suppose it does feel, it's got to feel trivial asking about, like, how'd you guys run a tattoo shop with the owner gone, when he was, you know, in a coma for weeks. It's yeah, I appreciate you coming on. You know, sometimes the ideas seem way easier. Like, hey, we got to get Jeff on the show. Oh shit, wait, now we're all actually like, yeah, like you were saying, Jeff, this is like pretty fresh.
Yeah.
You know, the main lesson, I suppose, is again and again is like every day really should be lived to the fullest, because you know, the bad news is coming, and luckily for everyone here, it's, you know, put off for X amount of time. But
that and wear your fucking seatbelt.
yeah.
Can you hear
Real,
my
it's, you know, and things change, like when you have the kids, you know, and the family, there's a whole nother round of you know, reasons to be alive, I suppose, as long as humanly possible. And again, to your point, I guess it sounded like, you know, you're just driving on the highway, right? You don't know if
It was literally just us driving down the highway and somebody not paying attention. I mean, who knows if they were on their phone or what they were doing, but the highway veered to the right and the guy didn't follow the veer of the highway. We kind of veered to the right and he kind of just kept going straight, and just such a like there's, you know, in my life, I've done a lot of stupid shit and I've had a lot of consequences for that stupid shit. But
I was going to say, I was thinking about that earlier. You were a Grateful Dead fan? Oh no,
yeah.
I didn't mean it like that, Jeff.
Yeah, but you know, I was pretty wild in my younger years, and did a lot of dumb stuff and had a lot of consequences. But it was just, this is kind of probably the first major thing that's happened in my life to where there was no decision made on anyone's part. It was just like middle of the day, snap, boom, your whole life changes. There's nothing anybody can do to control it. And like you said, it's a whole different world now that, you know, that I have the wife and the child. My wife, Kim, was incredibly supportive through all this and kept not just my family and friends in the loop about everything, but was doing updates daily on Instagram for, you know, anybody that I've known that I'm still in contact with on there. There was a point where I had to make a decision, like, you know, when I was in the hospital, I was in so much pain, and I'm just kind of like, am I going to continue to do this or not? And like, it's like you said, like once there is a wife and the kids involved, and you know, there's not a choice anymore. Now it's just like, I have to be there for these people, you know, and you know, I made that choice, and luckily when I woke up, you know, everything was, all these people were here, and there was just so much love that it was just amazing, you know. And I said, I'm gonna be out of work for a while, but I just have a huge support structure around me, and you know, the guys are keeping the shop going, and hopefully sooner than later I'll be able to take on some small stuff randomly. I don't know exactly when that will be, but it's, you know, so just keep doing the physical therapy and hopefully get back to it soon.
Here, I'm going to, this is the Dire Wolf Instagram. And, you know, it's funny because I've actually have Instagram off my phone now for like 2 weeks, but everyone's still on it. So I'm going there first. But here, let's see, where's the, is it the shop merch link? This is what goes to the storefront here, the fundraiser. So these are, this is the merchandise, right? So people.
This is for Spencer's merchandise.
Yeah, I set that up for Jeff. That's not the shop, the actual shop shirt that's out, right?
Got it. See, this is why I'm on shop website. GoFundMe.
Yeah, well, for the actual shop merch, it's just on Instagram. I don't have it posted on the website or anything right now. This is all personal painting stuff for me that was put up there in the beginning.
Well, it is worth showing these off.
Thank you.
The
there we go.
Follow.
This is like the shop merch that's available right now.
Got it. Cool. This is another one of these. All your motorcycle series is fucking out of control. Everything's
one right there is the most recent. I finished it during the COVID shutdown, like the first shutdown. It's like 4 feet tall by, I think, around 6 feet wide. The original is
nice.
And those are obviously, you know, the prints of it.
Oh, cool.
That was another painting that I made during the COVID shutdown.
Sweet. Okay. Awesome. Okay, back to oomph. James Wisdom is in the chat room. Says tattoo community strong. It's very it's very, you know, tattoo. I guess that is one of those old school lessons, right? Like if you give to tattooing, you know, give more than you can take, you know, or give more than you take, and then you know, it'll support you. You know, just being you know, positive. You know, it's you know, it's a good. This is an actual real world. You know, the effects are being clear. You know,
100%. Yeah, it's not just a tattoo thing. You know, like it literally affected my whole life. And that's the thing, how you were saying, like, I don't feel like I've ever really taken advantage of my place in the tattoo world. I kind of just like chugged along and tried to make art and tried to get along with people. And, you know, it's enhanced my life beyond belief. I never thought I'd be like it's taken me around the world traveling. I've met some of the most amazing people that I could ever imagine, made very good friends along the way, tons of very good friends along the way. But like you said, I mean, I never really like tried to take from it. It was always just like, just keep producing and stay humble and try to, you know, keep your ego checked. Mostly because, you know, there was a while there where there was a lot of people getting kind of wild with the ego thing. You know, and just keep your ego checked and stay humble and just be a decent person and make art. And like, you know, it takes care of you, you know, respect the art.
It feels like, you know, tattooing is going to it enables the clients, right, to become who they want to be, you know, in part due to what you're putting on them, whether it be a memory or they want to conjure a feeling or a spirit or whatever. But then, you know, it means that, you know, tattooers then, you know, by extension, like, you get to definitely become who you want to be and amplified. And so, you know, you got to make sure you're always working on yourself so that, you know, as you're amplifying, and again, it doesn't mean even by like fame and fortune or whatever, just by amplifying yourself inside of the community.
100%.
And it's pretty amazing. So let's maybe let's go around one more time and maybe we could talk a little bit about, well, you know, your booking processes, how people can, you know, book in, you know, if you're selling paintings and stuff, I can do, you know, do some more demos. I know that Spencer, I saw a couple of your paintings were pretty fucking out of control. But let's use this as a time to showcase, you know, your work so that, yeah, you can let people know about the studio and, yeah, so where should we start?
I could start.
Perfect. So what's your booking process, and like how far out are you booked these days, and what are you looking to do?
Right now, I'm not really taking new appointments, just because it kind of got out a little bit far. But usually like 3 months at a time is when I book, or I book 3 months at a time. And yeah.
Cool. And when you're doing those bookings, what are the types of pieces that might pique your interest?
Oh, my bad. So like single needle, like kind of dot work, stuff. That in particular is Jeff's work.
This is Jeff's work. Voila,
Yeah.
down one. Perfect.
So anything like kind of black and gray realism, like single needle. Lately I've been using more like a tight 3. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff I like to do.
Awesome. Yeah. And are you doing much traveling? Do you do convention? I mean, are you hitting conventions at all? I mean, obviously COVID has been kind of screwing with everybody's travel, but
yeah, no, I've only done one convention with these guys, the Golden State Pasadena convention.
okay.
Other than that, that was the only one.
Yeah, cool. And yeah, sweet. Uh-oh, gang tats. Sorry. Did I say that out loud? So Caitlin, let's see, I'm going to fire up some of your tattoos next. I remember, yeah, these are you've always been pretty awesome. So when you learned to tattoo, Caitlin, it seemed like you were on the front end of I'm still screen sharing. This is great. It seemed like you were on the front end of like those apprentices, being badass right out of the gate. Actually, I'm interested. Did you learn on coils or did you learn on rotaries?
No, I learned from Mike DeVries on the Numa, actually.
Okay.
And then once I got tired of carrying around my air compressor everywhere, I started the rotary game. I tried coils for about like a year or so, but I just felt like I did better with the rotary stuff. So now I'm using Injecta. I've been with them for like 10 years.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's great. That's is that Ray? Is Ray?
Oh,
no, I'm thinking Neotet. Injecta's Australian, maybe?
Yeah, Australian. Byron.
Yeah, Byron. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And like, do you credit the being on a rotary for some of your, I mean, I don't want to be like how good you got so fast, because that's presuming that you think that you got good fast, which you did. But I guess how do you feel the effect of learning on a rotary was to your tattoo career? Do you like miss not?
Well, when I started learning, like I learned, like, I don't know, Mike DeVries and all of those guys were like doing a lot of the realism things. So I kind of learned backwards. I didn't really learn much outlining until like towards the end of my apprenticeship. And a lot of it was layering colors and like, creating depth. And I had all the other stuff first. So I don't know, like I don't really know how to compare doing rotaries to coils, I guess. Jeff Ensminger, when I was really young and like just starting off, taught me that a good tattooer can tattoo with anything. So I think I'm more focused on how I did as opposed to like how the machine did. And I never focused too much on like how a machine would like really work for me.
Sure.
With it.
As a non-tattooer, I just get to kind of observe, right? And the biggest advantage is that, for me, is that the rotaries behave, consistently, every time you pick them up, or nearly every time. So, as far as watching like learning curves and whatnot, that seems to be the biggest advantage from a outside perspective. But either way, you're doing killer work right away, and it's been a pleasure to see your progress too. Now, are you painting? Are you doing? Do you have other original art or?
We moved into like a smaller place, and so I kind of stopped doing oil painting when I kind of ran out of the space to do it. I also lost my attention span, so waiting for paint to dry actually became really hard for me. So I ruined a few paintings in the oven, and then decided that I would probably go with a different medium. So lately I've been doing like mixed medium, like color pencil marker type stuff lately. it dries back immediately. So
Awesome. Fun.
but I have a big cartel. It's like caitlincrane.bigcartel.com that I sell some of my prints on there. There's also a link in there to like set up an appointment with me as well.
I'm going there as we speak. Oh shit. Sorry.
So yeah, there's like, I don't know. I have a few prints up right now. During the pandemic, I was doing a lot of commissions. So I did a lot of personal stuff. And then, I don't know. So usually when I do a more of my color pencil stuff, it's like for people personally. So if you want a commission, if I have the time, I'm here for you. But so yeah, I have that. I also schedule my appointments through that. The kind of art that I've been liking to do, I've been sticking with mostly nature stuff, more illustrative with like certain realistic like aspects to it, kind of collecting everything from the years that I've been tattooing and sort of putting it into my own thing. So yeah, going to that big cartel or just emailing me at caitlincrane@ymail.com is probably the best way. I'm booked out pretty far, so I have to be pretty selective, but I won't always say no.
Awesome. And then Spencer, let's catch up with your portfolio here. Let me
Cool. I think my webpage is probably a better spot for it. It's much more up to date.
artofspencer.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here right now.
But yeah, that's where you can find me. It's kind of still under construction, but there's a booking form there, you know, booking for the summer. And trying to stick with mostly like kind of larger black and gray illustrative, kind of like that new wave Japanese stuff, lots of waves, snakes and dragons, flowers. That's the funnest stuff. I could tattoo that every day. But I like you know, like I like messing with the biomech stuff a little bit. I'd like more into it. It's kind of like where I like thought I was setting out for when I started tattooing, because that's what I was painting.
Those bio paintings were pretty sick. This is cool.
Thank you. Yeah, we got this new studio that we're sitting in, so we just moved into a bigger place. So I hope we can more art is going to happen now that we don't have to paint in a dining room and have a whole space dedicated to it.
Yeah.
But like definitely the landscape, kind of trippy landscape vibe. You know, I like to paint a bunch of local stuff. You know, I'm looking at some mountains right now that I've done a few paintings of, but then I like taking it into the more psychedelic. That's a Guy and the Guy and Aitchison and collab.
Nice.
Yeah, we did that over the COVID break. And that was pretty awesome. That was a huge milestone for me, getting to paint with Guy and see things through his eyes and combine our kind of separate inspirations, and it was super fun.
Oh hell yeah! Now, did you do this in person? Did you go out there to get tattooed and do this? Or?
No, we shipped it back and forth.
Shipped it back and forth. Awesome.
Yeah, we did the whole thing in digital first. We painted it, kind of a basic rough color outline of it, and then he printed it and stretched it, and then we kind of I think we passed it back and forth like 4 times to get this all like an oil finish over the top. But I think it helps speed the process up to kind of get a big, pretty far along plan first digitally, and then took it into the oil. But it combines the things that we like pretty well. It's like I love landscape stuff with water, and you know, of course, it's crazy light form like over the years.
Fucking A. Yeah, cool. That's great. And then yeah, you could tell that you know what caught guys. How did that happen? I mean, maybe that's a good story to end on. So what did I mean, how the hell do you end up fucking collabing with Guy? Or not you in particular. I wasn't like trying to sound exact. I'm just saying in general, how, you know, what did you end up doing that ended up making that happen?
What did I do to, I'm not sure, Like how did
I guess, so the question is, so how did that happen?
Guy actually reached out to me, and me and Guy have been talking for a few years, kind of before I started tattooing a little bit. You know, I've been obviously have a huge inspiration coming from Guy. Like when I first saw those Lightform series, at the time I saw them, I was just like floored. Like this is, you know, he was like painting these visionary landscapes that, you know, you only saw in your mind in certain frames of mind. And now suddenly they were like in paint. And I just thought that was like that's what I want to paint.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So this is Guy Aitchison for the viewers here. And
yeah, like, stuff like that was just like, oh my God.
yeah.
Yeah. Him and Geiger, and I was like super into Alex Grey at the time. So I kind of just tried to form my own little thing coming from my love for nature and spending time backpacking. And, but yeah, it's just kind of, and then Guy reached out to me during the pandemic. He was doing like a series of collabs with a bunch of people, amongst all other things that he does. It was pretty sick.
Awesome. I love working with him is a real pleasure. It's never, it shouldn't surprise me anymore, but sometimes I'll be on a call and he's talking to somebody that I have, barely, either don't know or barely know or know of. And all of a sudden I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And then like his depth of knowledge is like, he's just like talking on their level. I'm like, how the fuck does he know that? And, it's because he tattooed somebody for 10 years as a molecular biologist or whatever it might be. And I was like, oh, okay. And so do you have any tattoos by him or?
I don't.
But awesome. Cool.
Hopefully we go out there and visit at some point and go spend some time in the hyperspace.
It's very relaxing. It's always a sad time to leave. I had to cancel my last trip out there for travel-y, COVID-y kind of stuff. And it's definitely amazing to get out there and to check it out. But awesome. Well, I appreciate everybody calling. What time is it? I think we're hitting up against the hour. Oh yeah. Is there anything else? I mean, I guess I didn't make enough notes. Is there anything that, there's plenty of things that we didn't talk about. I'm wondering if there's anything that we should catch up about before our time's done for the day. Obviously the shop is kind of still in somewhat trauma mode. Down an artist. Are you looking for guest artists? Is everybody?
I do have an open station for a guest artist, and I also have a station that is available for rent to the right person.
Voila! This is the perfect way.
That is. I've had an open station for quite a while.
Wait. Let me set you up. We can make a whole clip and everything.
Okay.
I hear that. No, sorry. Let me really set this up. Clearly a studio like yours is always going to be in high demand, and you want to be very picky about who comes in. You have a very healthy, awesome, shop culture there. So my question would be, what type of artists are welcome, or what kind of artists are you looking for? And maybe we could wrap up and we could just go around and everyone could talk about what they like about working there. So that could attract people that might be like-minded. And then we'll end in a group virtual hug and fucking, like I said, I really do appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on, and it's
I appreciate you having us.
Okay.
But as far as like the perfect person that would fit there, I'd really like to get someone who has, at least 5 years experience. Just someone who can, take care of themselves, that don't need a bunch of guidance. There is a lot of smaller, like Pinteresty kind of stuff that calls in and walks in that we don't ever get to do because we're also booked. So a person that would come to work there, they either could be completely booked themselves or, have a little bit of room to take on that stuff. If they're not from the area and they want to build clientele, there's definitely ample people to build stuff at first, starting with the small walk-in stuff that, maybe some people might not want to do, but that's how you build clientele, is by doing that stuff and getting people's trust and building relationships. So that could be someone from around this area or not. basically just, a grown adult that's not in party mode anymore. And just wants to make good art and be around good people, has a positive outlook on life and their art. And, that's about it. It's everything in my shop is rent based. So it's a weekly rent, in light of the whole independent contractor thing that goes on in California. So it's kind of make your own hours, pay your rent, and wipe your own ass, and be nice, really. But that's pretty much like what I'd be looking for in someone. Just someone's fun to be around. That's artistically driven, that respects tattoos for what they are, and other people, and wants to work.
And doesn't mind the Grateful Dead. No, I jest. I completely jest. I don't.
But they can listen to Slayer at the same time. So
perfect. So yeah, Caitlin, Tyler, Spencer, what type of people would you like to work around, and what do you like about Dire Wolf Tattoo that you think would attract the right people?
I think go
for it, Kate. No, you're good.
No, you.
I was just gonna say, just someone that's positive. It's a good place. It's comfortable, and keep your head down and work, and you'll have fun. So we're all family here.
Oh, hopefully a positive family.
Yeah,
right.
No, for sure.
When people say that, I'm like, oh man, you didn't have my family growing up. Yeah, my family now.
I would say that kind of the same thing, like intention is really important. Like we just show up and we do our work and then we go home and do art. So I feel like there isn't a lot of the glitz and the glam of the tattoo industry and what people look for these days. It's more just like, I don't know, our world's a lot smaller. Because since coming to this town, it's like, it is like a suburb, and so the community is really close. So once I built my my clients in this community, it was like, it kind of went crazy because everybody tells each other everything. So it is like, it's really easy to build clientele here. And then once you do, it kind of goes nuts. They all talk to each other in this town. So if you have like a good rapport, obviously you saw with happening with Jeff, like they'll literally like give you all of their money and like be there for you completely. So I do love working in this town for like that reason. Everything does close by 10 o'clock. So there isn't much of like a party scene out here. So it really is like more art based and kind of put your head down, but we are a very positive family. We really do support each other. We really are for each other there emotionally. And yet we know how to wipe our own ass. Jeff provides the toilet paper, but.
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything to add to that. I think they got everything. I mean, just being motivated and wanting to do art and tattoo and being respectful and not having a huge ego, because that just seems to, I don't know, it feels really good at this shop. Like everyone just seems to be like really in check and just motivated and driven to do art.
Awesome. I'm really excited to see who you guys are able to bring on, because you have something really special going, and that means that you're clearly going to make sure that persists. And cool. Well, bam, there we go. It's funny how it goes quick. It's an hour. I imagine that. So Jeff, what's the best way for someone that's a tattooer to apply for either a guest or rental?
Just email direwolftattoo@gmail.com. Or they can email me personally through the website. Just like there's a contact artist button, and just email me and get in touch with me. But the general email is just direwolftattoo@gmail.com. And we can go over stuff and set up, guest spots, or if somebody's interested in coming and settling down outside of about 30 miles outside of Los Angeles, that's a possibility too.
Is it where the dude got the coffee thing chucked at his head? No, sorry.
Coffee thing.
Remember the dude was at one of the suburbs, and the sheriff fucking wung a coffee cup at his head and nailed him. He was like, "Ah, you fucking fascist." No, I'm sure these people are nicer.
These people are nicer.
Awesome, cool. Well, let's stay in touch, and
Absolutely.
I'll send you over the links, and we'll put this up in the podcasts. And well, yeah, thanks again for catching up, everybody. Now's the time where we have to wave for me to